So, are you friendly with anybody that you did work with on the show?
Yeah, plenty of people. I don't deal with a lot of that nonsense, but a lot of the guys I just simply don't want to have a relationship with. Jim was not a guy that you could be friends with. He doesn't really have friends. He could act like he has friends, but he doesn't. You know what? I surrounded myself around a lot of strange people because I know they made good radio. If you want to know the truth.
Well, of course, it's like your own more articulate whack pack. I mean, let's be honest. It's people that you can surround yourself with. That's only going to enhance your ability to do a show.
Yeah.
And so you do it. I mean, the same thing for Carl, who was a great co-host for you. And I just think I just kind of feel like after what happened at Sirius, and I definitely want to talk about Howard for a second, but I feel like after Sirius, both of you lost your way a little bit, and I know you probably had non-competes, right? I mean, so you had to, when you left, did you have to leave? Like, did you have to not do anything for a while?
When I left Sirius?
Yeah.
No, man. I actually had a huge opportunity with WABC. They wanted me to take over for Imus, but regular radio, the money is just absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
And I did not want that stress. I mean, people don't understand when you do a radio show like Opie and Anthony, especially on regular radio, where you're sweating out the ratings every month. And, it's a pressure cooker. People look at a radio show like it's so fun. It's the easiest job in America. And at some days it certainly is. But they were offering me crap money to take over for Imus. But you know what the funny thing is? I talked to a guy at ABC, and he actually said, "So what have you been doing the last few years?" He had no idea I was still on satellite. Because I'm telling you, I was privy. I had a big boss over there that really I was close to, and he really would give me the inside stuff. And I asked him one day, this was before Anthony blew himself up. I go, "The show's over, isn't it?" He goes, "Oh, it's been over for a couple of years now." Yeah. But we still had an audience that was holding on, but it was nothing like the early years of satellite radio. We lost a big market share with that Opie and Anthony show. Was there enough people to keep it going for a while? Sure. But then it got to a point that it wasn't worth it anymore. So when Ant acted up, they're like, goodbye.
So let me ask you questions about Sirius.
Wait, I want to finish your question.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because it's a very good question. But honestly, I didn't get a lot of offers after I left Sirius. I got a decent offer from Westwood One to start a podcast, but they were delusional. They gave me a healthy number, way more than regular radio, and then it came out after a year. They were disappointed because they really thought that I had enough heat, and God bless them, that I was going to bring in 1 million downloads a week from my podcast, and that's why they paid me so well. So after the year was over, they still liked me, and this is another bullshit thing that's out there. They wanted me to continue at Westwood One, but they wanted me to continue on, pennies on the dollar, because they're like, "Look, you didn't do what we were hoping you would do, but we like you, and you're bringing in okay people." So I'll tell you, they wanted to pay me something like 10% of what I was making, and then at that point, I'm like, I might as well just do it myself at that point, and that's what I decided. But I wasn't let go of Westwood or anything. I had an actual offer on the table, but it was a really crappy offer.
Yeah, all right, Minash, you may have covered it many times, but how many times have I been on with Opie, you shithead? Seriously. This is all new for my people who are going to be listening to this. There's certain things that we love to talk to people who have been at Sirius about. For example, what are the metrics that are told to you by SiriusXM in terms of how many people you have listening to your show? It all seems so nebulous on the back end.
I never knew, and Anthony would say the same thing. We never knew how many people were listening to our radio show. On regular radio, you got numbers. And there was a time we were talking to at least a couple million people a week, maybe more.
Right.
But it's Sirius. I think the numbers are so much lower than these hosts realize that if they actually saw the numbers, they would jump
shit their pants. Right? How many
out a window? And that's why they don't give you the numbers, and they also want to hold that over you, because every contract I would fight with these guys. And it was another thing that I know. Opie was stubborn and he wouldn't sign the contract. I wouldn't sign the contract. Here's another thing. I'll give you another exclusive. I wouldn't sign the contract, and I was the holdout because I knew we were worth way more money than they were paying us. I knew what Howard was making, right. and I knew from like our appearances and the phones and everything else, our social media, that we were killing it for SiriusXM for a bunch of years there. So every time our contract came up, I was the holdout because I'm like, screw these guys. We deserve twice the money that they're offering us. And that turned out to be some negative thing.
But isn't it weird that you don't have a statistic though to fall back on to say, you know what, we're doing so amazing, and then they're like, yeah, okay, how do you know this, big shot?
No, you had to. It was a hunch. You just kind of knew, but I never got a number. I think every once in a while they would throw $1 million. They would say you're talking to 1 million people, but it would be very vague. You know what I mean?
Well, they're blowing smoke up your ass because I think also that they don't want advertisers to know exactly what the metrics are, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that Sirius actually has a longevity problem? Do you think now with the onslaught of being able to do Wi-Fi in your car and, the way the Tesla model is where you can, watch TV, for God's sakes, if you want to, do you think that the Sirius model is on its waning days?
Well, look, I mean, as much as we have our issues with Howard and we trash him, he's still getting the job done. But when he leaves, they're effed. Who do they got to hold up the whole thing? When, like you just said, I can now, when I first went to satellite, it was a pain in the neck to get satellite in your car. It was a nightmare, right?
Yes, but now?
And now you could listen to just about anything in your car. So if you don't have the big get like Howard, even though he's not as popular or as good as he used to be, he's still getting the job done. But yeah, I think SiriusXM is in deep trouble because they never really. I'm not
even talking about the talent. I'm talking about the model itself.
Oh, of course. The technology of throwing satellites in the air is insane when Wi-Fi has gotten so much better. Eric Logan told me that. He told me early on, he told me two things. He said, Wi-Fi is going to be the next big thing and podcasting is going to be the next big thing. And I said, yeah.
Plastics.
Exactly. If I got in podcasting on the ground floor, it would be a different story. I got into the game way too late. But yeah, of course they're aft. The technology's changing. I don't know if they still got all the card deals that they used to have.
Who needs it? Honestly, we always call it on our show. It's like the McAfee virus protector of IBM computers. It's like it's built into your computer. You're kind of stuck with it. A lot of cars have its own separate button. It's like, I don't want it anymore. Take it out of my car. I don't need this.
When I got let go, officially it was let go. Actually, officially it was my contract wasn't renewed, if you want to know the truth. They yanked my VIP accounts the next day.
Yeah.
They were so mad. And then one day I'm in my car after years of not having satellite radio. And also they were back on in my car. Really?
You just got another, you called up Haji in Mumbai and just got another 60 days of free video of Sirius.
No, they just were turned back on. I guess all the VIP accounts or whatever. I don't know. I have no idea how or why, but one day I popped in my car and I'm like, what the hell? Wait a minute. Is my satellite radio back? And it certainly was. And I'm like, cool, man, because I like listening to the Pearl Jam channel. So thank you very much, SiriusXM.
Yeah, but do you really need it? Let's be honest. No, in the big scheme of things.
No, not really. Not really. No. I listen to a lot of podcasts in the car. Not a lot, actually. I've been listening to Fly on the Wall. I've been binge listening to that. I actually don't listen to a lot of podcasts, so I don't know why I just said that. But
I use them to sleep. That's what I do with them.